When we asked young people across the country what they would do to improve their local food systems, they created solutions to make a sustainable future for all of us. And now it's our turn to listen to them. When many people think about change, they think of adults driving the process. The young people in this video show a different way. They became change makers, forming youth-adult partnerships with decision makers in their community to take action. When young people engage in asking for change like this, they are transformed along the way. Reflecting on where they started, where they went, and where they're going next is a powerful way to share that transformation. In their own words, here are the reflections from these young change makers.
Making a change in my community feels really exhilarating. Change takes a lot of time and effort.
It's more rewarding to just see how I, as a 16-year-old high schooler, can really, make a change.
It feels really good to help out the community in just a small way. It doesn't just have to be big. It's just it's helping out the community and helping out the people in need. It just feels amazing.
It filled me with a kind of joy, but not the joy that you get from getting a new toy. It's the kind of joy of knowing that you really did something and you could really make a change. It can't really be described by words. It's only felt when you make a true difference.
As other people see our project and what we did, they can have the courage to do projects like this.
It gave me a lot of pride in my school. One cute story that made me feel really proud of what we were doing. One boy put some plastic in there, and there was about a 7-year-old girl, and she watched the boy put the plastic in the compost, and she said, "Hey, that can't go in there. You need to throw that out." That just made me feel so good that there's several generations being taught how to compost properly.
I feel like we're really going to make a change in the world because not everybody has to do like other people do. And they really need these vertical gardens. After we're done with this, we're just going to be handing out fruit left and right.
It makes us really happy that we could do something and change the school for better.
People who want to help me with my composting project will be like, hey, we can help you put your, this rotating composter together. We can help you, turn the compost, things like that. It's just a benefit for the whole community to be able to pitch in and see firsthand, how composting works.
This project is going to give back to my community a lot, especially since I guess the students have had a bit of trouble in the past, doing the compost. But I feel like this would make it a ton easier, and I'm very, very glad to have a part in making our school more efficient and just kind of helping out.
It makes me feel good because we are helping other people that might not have enough food.
It's cool because our school has a lot of students. I think it's around 1,700. So it's pretty neat to see the impact.
Knowing that we can create some kind of change in bringing about this law in the most agriculturally aware city in the United States, probably California, it kind of made us feel like we were kind of making a change in our own food systems to a much larger degree than if we say did this in a city or area that was not agriculturally focused. So kind of made us feel like we created a lot more of an impact.
I was also surprised that just a group of 12th, 8th graders were actually able to raise almost $4,000 to buy a dishwasher for their school and help the environment out.
It was very eye-opening because we also got to take a little bit of a look into our county government. We did meet with the mayor. It was a little nerve-wracking, but once we actually started talking, he was a really good listener. We kind of got to look into how all that goes and how much it takes to get a facility like the vermicomposting facility built.
I mean, we're just in high school and we can still make a big difference in our community.
When a kid does something big like this, it teaches me that I can do more, but also it teaches me a few things about locally grown food.
You can't get something done on a team unless you have everyone on board, using everyone's talents to the best of their ability.
I especially learned to stay very humble, realize get shot down, look for the next route, and find a way around not getting what we would like to have.
I learned that successful projects, they take time to implement properly, and that I can't do everything by myself, that I need a community of people that care and want to make these projects possible.
I had no interest. I thought it was dirty food. It turns out I actually like growing food.
So I think through this process of reaching out to people and even making announcements and sending out emails, I just learned that like that more reserved part of me doesn't define me. I actually can step out of my comfort zone, put myself out there, and it's not as scary as it seems.
I learned about how to overcome obstacles because when we were doing this project, it took a lot of time and there were many challenges that we had to face. But as we kept going, we kept overcoming them and learning how to make our project even better.
I've learned so much about what it takes to advocate for yourself.
I learned about my love for trying to tackle big problems such as child nutrition.
I learned how something little could help a lot. It's fun doing all this, especially with a team who you know and like you have great times with.
Just realizing that I'm able to have an impact and that I really do care about the environment.
I have the ability to help people, and I'm excited to see if we could make a change in the future.
I think what we've learned through this project is being able to put ourselves out there in the community, advocating for what we believe to be right, rather than just learning about facts in the environment, but actually implementing what we're learning into real life and interacting with authority figures.
It's definitely helped me become a better leader.
I've learned that I am capable of doing so many things, no matter how much work and how much effort it takes. I realized that I can make a difference. People might think as a child I'm not able to take on a big role, but it's surprising how when they see that young children are engaged in something and are trying to make a difference, they will really listen and try to understand.
Something that I learned is how to better work with a team.
I learned that working to help others is a career option I want to start looking into now. I like knowing the fact that I'm helping impact someone's life.
I did learn how much work goes into a project or like getting the materials that we need. It's a big process and it has to be approved by a lot of people, and we just have to be patient.
Enthusiasm helps a lot to convince people. Just meeting with these people directly and talking to them rather than just posting videos about it. Holding an event where people can actually get their hands in the dirt and do something is something that really makes an impact compared to what we may usually do, which is just lecture about it. That really helped me learn that interaction so specifically is important.
In today's media-driven world, we're constantly bombarded with messages of bad people doing bad things, but my experiences with POP have taught me just the opposite. Everyone I've come into contact with has been incredibly supportive, kind, generous, and really excited to see young people making a difference in the world. Without POP, I don't think I could ever have imagined how truly amazing people can be. I also discovered a confidence that I never knew I had. Time and time again, I had to step out of my comfort zone in order to accomplish POP's goals. And as I did, I discovered I was far more resilient, brave, and strong than I had ever thought possible.
We learned a lot about how we could make a difference. We didn't really know we could do that.
My advice is to go for it, and when you're trying to change the world, don't think you have to do it all in one day and take big steps. You can take baby steps and do it one day at a time.
Reach out to as many people as you can and honestly not stop bothering them until they really tell you to go away, and even then go back and try again.
Find someone else to bother.
Yeah, find someone else to bother.
If there's a will, there's a way. We got punched in the gut 4 or 5 times, and found a way to make it happen.
I'll say to research before you get into the field.
Plan ahead and to really set deadlines for yourself and when you're going to do something, and know when we have to turn this in, when we have to do this, and organize it very nicely.
Just don't let others discourage you from changing or helping a community.
If you want to make your idea work, you have to be sure you're caring and passionate for the idea.
For starters, you just got to be open-minded. When we first learned about recycling, I don't think any of us thought it would go this far.
Don't stand back, just go full force at it.
To not be discouraged, if you continue to push through all these adversities, you will find people who will help you and support you.
It's okay to feel uncomfortable, and it's okay to be scared or unsure. You don't always have to be Iron Man all the time.
Be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Look to your community and see what your community is doing. Get in touch with some friends and be like, do you want to help with this? It's a lot to do all by yourself.
Don't listen to people who say that you can do something, because you can do big things.
To make a change in your community, you don't have to make some kind of like revolutionary novel idea come to life. What you really just have to do is dip your toes in, even if it's just a little bit, to something that you're passionate about and to something that you think is important. That will start to set off like this chain of events that will eventually lead to that big thing that you want to get to.
Stay consistent. Make sure you have what you need.
Find something that you're passionate about, no matter how small, and see how you can use it to change the world.
Once they finish the project, that they'll see how much they've grown in the project, how much they've learned, and how much they help.
One piece of advice that I would give is to just go for it, because it seems intimidating to like try to change a whole community, because that's a really big thing. But everything that you do, it has an impact, no matter how small it may seem. Whatever you're doing, it's going to help.
Never give up, even in like the most challenging parts, because after, when you look at it, you'd be proud of yourself for what you've done and what you're doing.
Go out there and try to get it done, and if you can't get it done, then that's okay, because at least you tried, right?
Do things in small steps instead of trying to do one big step, and also to try and make people be convinced of your idea.
If you're a young person and you want change in your community, you just have to be persistent and you need to get your word out there.
It's very important to take the time. Don't try to get it done as quickly as possible. Try to get it done as effectively as possible.
Yeah, definitely. We've kind of worked through the whole workbook that Earth Force provided from the beginning. So we really were able to go through it step by step. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the help from Earth Force as well. It really helped to guide me.
At any age, you can make a difference.
If you want to make a change, then make a change. If you want to inspire others, then inspire others. If you come across a challenge, then face it head on. You have the head start of helping the planet, and even if you think you can't do it, just know that if every kid did just a little of something, you would not just be helping your community or your city or your town, because if you think you can change the world, then change it.